ladies and gentlemen. So let's play Startropics. I'm the Wolf. In our last video, we finished Chapter 6. And now we move onward to Chapter 7. But before we do, real quick note, at the end of Chapter 6 with Dr. J, I know they said that you should say yes to everything in the game, always. With him, say no first thing, right off the bat. Okay, now, onward to Chapter 7. Alien Spaceship. At last you have arrived at the spaceship. Find the 3 magic cubes. Chapter 7 is going to be a somewhat long chapter, broken up into 2 sections like Chapter 6 was, though, that's not going to say that I'm going to break this up into 2 videos. You know, because I broke Chapter 6 up into 3 videos, technically. No, what I mean is it's broken up into 2 action sections, so that's what I mean when I said Chapter 7 is broken up into 2 sections like Chapter 6. But, you know, it's not as long as Chapter 3, which, decidedly, after looking at the length of my videos, despite how much trouble I was having with Chapter 6 and whatnot, Chapter 3 still ended up being longer, which I wasn't sure whether it would be or not. You know, part of me suspected that Chapter 3 was, but just because something is broken up into more sections or levels, or whatever you want to call them, does not necessarily mean that it's longer in the end. But the spaceship has some interesting music here. You know, it definitely has potential, at least, I think, for music in this game to be liked. But as I said, you know, Startropics music wasn't really something I would write home about or anything. Mostly it's the gameplay and the characters and enemies that you come across. I think that they really made this game in the end. And, like, this whole spaceship section is so awesome, I think, for enemies and weapons, like specialty weapons like this laser gun that you see. I mean, right now you're not seeing too much in the way of, like, say, variety of enemies, because you're seeing, like, mostly this type of robotic alien type thing, which, you know, is pretty fascinating. You see some of these biker aliens, but, you know, not too much in the way of, say, just, you know, choice with enemies here, but, you know, don't let that, deter you from playing this game, because it's not true that, you know, that there's no variety or whatnot to it in the end. And now we come across, like, the hardest section for this first part here. This is our boss for the first part of chapter, or the first section of this first chapter here. Since I have the medicine bell, I'm going to use it to give myself better heart advantage when I get to the end here. And that's it for the first part, actually. I mean, pretty simple, pretty basic in the end, but definitely fun. And don't think because I said that simple that can't be difficult. There are plenty of times in just that first section there that I've gotten game overs and had to redo that just because that last enemy there. That enemy is really what makes that section difficult. It's not like with the section coming up where it'll be purposefully difficult for sections and become definitely what's considered Nintendo hard in the end. Now you notice I skipped the other ways, but because they don't lead me to the magic cube. If you go through either of them, they'll lead you to the other one until you get to the exit stairs that take you to the magic cube. Now, you got one magic cube, and you feel a strange power flow into your weapon. Your weapon, shooting star, becomes a supernova. Now, just because of how difficult this next section is, I'm going to stop the video here and actually split Chapter 7 into 2 sections, especially if I end up dying and having to restart in this next section. So, I hope that, it doesn't happen, but, I want to make sure that I cut this video off and have a solid video of commentary and not get later on and get flustered and maybe have nothing to say if I start to die like happened in Chapter 6. Mind you, Chapter 6 is a video towards the end I found had strong commentary, so I'm keeping it anyway, whether it's self-loathing or not. But right now I'm talking too much and you're seeing no action, so until next time, this is a Wulv.